There are 3 keys to being a good individual defender. The first is making sure that you're going to keep your feet. We never want your knee touching the floor. We don't want you ever hitting. You can touch the ball and have your knee hit the floor, but you don't want to hit your knee on the floor and then here comes the ball the other way. The second key to defense is keeping your arms between the floor and the ball. You want to make sure that your arms are parallel to the floor, in between. Hey, here comes the ball, here's the floor, your arms are going to dig the ball. The third aspect of individual defense is for the player to come up to meet the ball. You want, as a player, being low, and as the ball's coming to you, you're going to lift your legs to come up. You don't want to come down with the ball. You do not want to come down with the ball because you'll never get your arms underneath it to dig it up in the air.
As an advanced defender, your main goal is to keep, obviously, the ball from hitting the ground. But as you keep progressing in your skills, you want to keep more and more balls in a wider and wider range from hitting the ground and saving your team the point. And so there's a myriad of ways that you can use to keep a ball off the ground depending on what direction it hits you. So as a player, you're in this nice low ready position, your shoulders are forward, your knees are kind of pushing forward, and our toes are a little bit in. First thing we want to try to avoid is to let our toes peel out and our knees peel out, because it's really hard for us to go forward for a ball in that case. So we want to put ourselves in a position to where we're ready all the time to go forward for balls, because that's where most of the high level spikes come at you. You're ready in this low position and a ball comes maybe a little bit to the side of you. So when you take that step to the side, the first thing you want to do is you want to try to maintain the same height as you're moving. So we want to try to avoid kind of going up and down in a rainbow pattern. We want to start low, we want to stay low while we move. As you take this second step, we want to keep our toe kind of straight, a little bit pointed to target where we want it to go. I call this a closed toe. What we want to try to avoid is an open toe. If I stick my platform out, the only change being my toe, the difference between this dig and this dig is humongous, just by where my angles and where my body's facing based on where my toes pointed. So we've stepped, here's where we play the ball. What we really want to try to do is, after we contact the ball, is to finish forward and facing where we want the ball to go. So rather than stepping, playing, and keeping travel sideways, there's a better chance for the ball to go that way. We want to step, play, and try to collapse in these little C shapes rather than straight lines to try to get the ball back into our side of the court rather than shooting off into the stands to grandma. So digging is the same skill whether you're beginning at 8 years old or you're advanced in college, but the difference being great defenders have a mentality that nothing's going to hit, that they're going to make a play for every ball. And I like to tell my players, and as a player myself, if you can touch it, you can get it up somehow. So a lot of players will make a token dive and just kind of let it touch you, but great defenders go after the ball with the objective to really get it up and get it back into their team and play. And really, really great defenders go after the ball to not only get it up, but to get it into system to where we can get a set and an attack off of it as well. So that should be your progression as a player. Is first of all, you got to have the mentality that everything is going to be touched. You're going to be diving, you're going to sacrifice your body, you're going to get a hand on every single ball. And then after you start getting all these good touches, you want to try to get them into system more and more often as you get comfortable with the moves and you get comfortable reading with some experience. So another way that a ball is going to get hit out of you is forward. And in order to expand our range forward, we need to be good at extending and then getting up out of it quickly. And one way to do that is with a barrel roll. So the first step when a ball is to us is we got to take a step forward. So a lot of people, when balls are forward, the wrong thing to do is to just kind of flop forward. If we can, like we've talked about, we want to try to keep our feet. So the first thing is a step. And I step with my toe kind of turned a little bit on this one still, because when I go to the ground, I want to go to my side. With a straight foot, we end up going to our knee, which we want to keep our knee off, as we've talked about before. So we take a giant step forward. This is where we want to play the ball. Before we touch the ground, before any body parts are really anchoring us down, here's where we want to contact the ball. After we contact, then we want to extend through the ball. So this is the big change between a good touch and a great dig. This is going to be a good touch when it touches here, but it's probably going to fly off pretty straight and flat, and it's not really going to be into system. In order to get it up and into system, we need to collapse our platform underneath and extend through the dig. And those are the ones that have the nice backspin that stay on our side rather than the good touches that just laser beam out somewhere.
When teaching your players how to roll out of a sprawl, it's better to do a barrel roll because one, it's easier on your body, and the other, it positions your body to look right toward target. When you're doing a shoulder roll, you're really going into the other direction. So you're getting your body away from the court, and it's much tougher on your body when you're trying to do a shoulder roll as opposed to a barrel roll. Wrapping up everything you've seen today on individual defense, one of the most important aspects of it is the ability to read, R-E-A-D, what's happening on the other side of the court. And you need to, by where the ball is set, by the approach of the hitter, determine your area of responsibility. And now as the ball is hit, you're going to be determining your exact spot. So learning those aspects of, hey, how do I move before the ball is hit, stationary as the ball is hit, the least movement that I'm going to have, I'm going to be a better defensive player because the ball is going to come right to me.